In the previous video, I said that any microphone can sound good, so long as it's close to the subject and the environment isn't too noisy. But even though terrible microphones can be made to sound good, it's still best if you got the right one for the job. And that's what this video is going to be all about. Here are the 4 types of microphones I'll be covering, as well as the pros and cons of each. Shotgun mics are named such because they're good at recording sound from one direction and rejecting the other angles. They're most commonly used for talking headshots, where it's a mid to close-up shot of someone talking, because you can have the mic just out of view, yet it can still pick up what the person's saying really clearly. I've got a couple of shotguns that I use, starting with the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. This is a workhorse mic, really commonly seen mounted on top of many cameras, really good for running and gunning with your camera, a set forget kind of thing. It is so good. One disadvantage though is that it's not that effective if the subject is a bit far from the camera. A cheaper but still decent alternative is the Rode Video Micro, which I often use if I'm in a rush. This guy doesn't have batteries though, and so it can't amplify sound as well as the Pro version. The other shotgun I use is the Rode NTG4 Plus. This one's not as cheap because you can't connect it straight to the camera. You're going to need an external recorder or a wireless module, and that also means an increased setup time. However, the audio you get is incredible, and you can also use it as a boom mic if you've got additional crew members. Rode's also recently released the NTG5, which I've heard really good things about. Next up, lavalier mics, also known as lapel mics. These are really commonly used on TV, you see news presenters wearing them, or to mic someone who's public speaking. The lav that I most commonly use is the Rode Link wireless lav. Lav mics are great because they remain closer to the subject no matter how much they move, and this one in particular has a 300-foot wireless range, which is just crazy. The downside to using these types of microphones is that even though they're sort of small, they still can be hard to hide, and so they're usually visible. They can cost a little bit too, and because of where you place them, they generally can only mic one person at a time. The other lav I have is the Rode SmartLav Plus. I use this paired with a small voice recorder, which allows audio to be captured continuously and separate from the video. This does mean that I'm going to have to sync it to the video a bit later on, but the convenience of having a mic that's always on the person at all times is just really great. I should say that I've also just ordered the Wireless Go from Rode. Haven't actually tried these guys out yet, but they're a much cheaper lav mic, which makes them more accessible, and although the range and quality isn't as good as the others, from what I've heard, it still sounds really good. Also, if it isn't obvious by now, I love Rode microphones. They're not sponsoring this video or anything, although I won't say no if they want to. Thirdly, we have Cardioid microphones. There are a few different types, but generally they're pretty good at filtering out background noise, which often makes your voice sound more lively and dynamic. These mics are most commonly used for recording singers, are doing radio or voiceover work. I own a couple of these guys, starting with the Rode Reporter mic. I love this guy. As long as it's held close to the subject's mouth, you always get a good recording. But being able to see the mic, that whole news reporter style, may not be what you're after. And then of course these days there are plenty of USB cardioid mics, including the one that I'm using for this voiceover right now. So this is the Rode NT-USB. I guess you can include it in the shot if that's the look you're after, but otherwise it can get in the way. On the upside though, man, crystal clear audio, and perfect for that trailer voice, especially if you bring yourself close to the microphone. And last but not least, a category that I'm calling pocket microphones. And these are compact microphones that record to internal memory, and they're mostly made to, record talks, lectures, spoken notes, and things like that. I've got a couple of these guys, including the Zoom H1 and the Sony ICD-UX560, just rolls off the tongue. On the upside, they're cheap, they're portable. In fact, my Vogue 5M review on a plane was literally done with this little Sony voice recorder clipped onto my collar just like this. I knew it would be really, really noisy on the plane, and so this was the easiest, most compact solution to recording my voice. Wow, this thing is so nice. Wow, this thing is so nice. But you do get what you pay for, of course. These guys probably aren't going to sound as good as the mics mentioned previously. Now, because video is my work, I own all of these options, but for most of you, you'll have to choose what makes most sense. If you don't really need to be seen in your videos, like you're mostly doing voiceovers, then a cardioid mic like those USB ones that we saw from before will probably do the trick. If you have a proper camera though with an audio input, then I really think you should get one of those microphones that can sit on top of it, like one of these guys, and hear the difference it makes to your audio. I know you might think that your camera has its own microphone, but it's like night and day. The difference this will make to your videos is crazy. In terms of suiting a variety of different situations, I would say these are probably the best. Now, I should say that even with all the equipment that I own, some of my best videos have been shot with literally nothing but like my iPhone. And that's okay, because sometimes simplicity is key. But if you pick the right microphone for the right situation, it can really take your audio to the next level. And even if people don't consciously notice it, it'll be what makes your video stand out. In the next one, and this isn't clickbait, we're gonna have a look at one quick, easy trick that I use in all of my videos to make my voice sound really clear.